Good day, everyone. Good day, sir. Before anything else, let me introduce myself first. I am April Rose Autida, and today we're going to talk about a very meaningful topic in development studies. So, this is all about gender interest and needs in development. So, this discussion is important because it helps us understand why development plans must consider not just economic growth but also equality, culture, and gender environment. So, talking about bitaw sa development sa una is the development programs were focused mostly on economic progress, di ba? So, sa una is di pa dyan nila priority ang mga babae. So, but now, we realize that for our country or community to truly grow, we must also improve the lives of women and other disadvantaged group. So thankful tano na karon is natagaan na jud og higayon ang mga babae na makakuha og mga programa in order to have more opportunities for themselves. This is because women are not only caregivers or homemakers, they also work in farms, offices, markets, and even serve as leaders. So, however, many development programs fails to understand this. They often treat women as one big group with the same needs. So, makaingon tanong nga, as a woman or all woman in this world is nagkalahi-lahi jud atong mga needs. That's why dili unta paas if sa tao ba or tanan na women is we have different needs and that is something to work about. So I have an example here na nagpamatuod na gender or woman needs are different. But think about it. Does a Catholic housewife in New York have the same needs as a Muslim housewife in Saudi Arabia? And does a female in a rural village in the Philippines need the same support as a woman living in the city? So of course, the answer is no. Women's needs vary depending on culture, religion, class, age, and location. So ang need sa isa ka tao and sa woman is nagdepende na sa ilahang living, ilahang culture, and religion. That's why we need to understand the gender interest and gender needs deeply aron na ma-create og a society that is progressive to anyone. So, proceed ta sa Caroline Moser's gender planning framework. So, Moser, a well-known gender and development expert, she helped people in the field of development understand that women's needs are all not the same. She divided these needs into two types. So according ni Caroline Mosers, naay duha ka type ang needs sa mga babae. First is the practical gender needs and the second is the strategic gender needs. So let's talk about first about practical gender needs. So, unsam din ang practical gender needs? So, these are the immediate and basic needs that helps women with their daily survival. No? So, from the word practical, this is where the immediate and basic needs for daily survival. So, they don't aim to change traditional gender rules but help women live more comfortably within their existing rules. So, example sa practical gender needs is clean water for cooking and cleaning, better shelter or housing, access to health clinics or child care, tools or materials for income generating activities like sewing or farming. So sabotable naman no ang ilang mga needs, so there's no need to discuss it deeply. So ang dapat na jud hinumduman nato is when we see practical gender needs, this will be the needs for women that will help them to survive daily. So these are the things na if wala ni is dili makasurvive ang isa ka tawo. In short, practical needs are about what women need right to survive and function in their current situation. And proceed ta sa second gender needs, which which is the strategic gender needs. So these are needs that aim to challenge inequality and bring long-term change to a woman's position in society. So they focus on empowerment, rights, and freedom. So ang kalahian ni practical and strategic gender needs is, when we say practical, muna siya ang needs in order to survive, while ang strategic gender needs is this focus on the empowerment, rights, and freedom. And example of this is legal protection against democratic violence. No? So, pag-legalize sa mga programs in order to reduce the domestic violence among women. Second is equal pay and job opportunities. No? So, with a equal salary and job opportunities for women, we can create empowerment and freedom for everyone. Third is access to education and leadership rules. Rights to own property or land, and equal say in family and community decisions. So these things is vital in order to create empowerment, rights, and freedom to anyone. So in short, ang strategic needs are about changing the system, no? So pag transition sa usa ka butang to change them so that women can have equal power and opportunities. So these two needs, which is the practical and the strategic gender needs, is vital in our daily living in order to create a progressive and inclusive society where women are highly valued and seen as fair to anyone. Now, let's go to the another expert, which is Maxine Molineux, a feminist scholar. So she introduced the concept of gender interest. So while ang kang Caroline is nag-focus sa gender needs planning framework, ang kang Maxine naman is she introduced the concept of gender interest. So many people think that because women share the same biological features, they also have the same interest. But Molineux disagrees. She says our gender interest come from our social rules, how we are treated, and what is expected of us in society. So para kang Maxine is all of us have different gender interest. Kanang lahi-lahi tag mga interest sa usa ka butang. And one of the factor nga makapalalahi is ang atong mga rules sa palibot and society. This is why she preferred to say gender interest instead of woman interest, because not all women want or need the same things. So, one example of this is a young woman studying in the city might be interested in scholarships and leadership training. Meanwhile, an older woman in a rural area may be more concerned with access to clean water or protection from violence. So Molineux also explained that gender interests become gender needs when they are identified in real life and turned into concrete actions and programs. So, ngano nga ang gender interest and needs of a woman is part in developing or the development of a country. So, of course, when planning programs for development, it's not enough to simply say we are helping women. No? So, na-consider dyan na ang woman is part of the development because women are part of the society and country. And they are also the people who are internalizing the society, and they are part of the development. So we must ask, which women? Where do they live? What are the rules, responsibilities, and struggles? Because failing to recognize the diversity of women experiences leads to programs that are ineffective or even harmful. No? So without knowing the gender interest and needs of a woman, we cannot lead to a program di na makahimo og program that is effective because we didn't know what are the concerns of the woman. So it is very important that we know what is the interest and needs of a woman. Not just a woman, but also the people in the society. So, one example of this is a livelihood program that teaches women to sew clothes might be useful in one area but useless in a fishing village. So, of course, ang livelihood program that teaches women to sew clothes useful na sa mga women like in cities or any areas nga nagneed og mga clothing. But useless siya in a fishing village. So that's why it is important to know the areas what is the woman's needs and interest. Another example of this is a seminar on women's rights might be helpful. But if the women can't leave their homes or don't speak the language, it won't work. So, ang seminar gano about sa women rights might be helpful. But useless siya if we know na ang woman na imuhang giorientan is naara kanunay sa ilang homes, di siya mo speak up, so that orientation is useless lang. So that's why we should know our boundaries and we should know the gender interests and needs of a woman. This is why community participation and listening to grassroots women are so important. So, important din kayo ang pag-participate sa mga community development in order to have a programs nga maka-effective to change the community and society into a progressive and developing one. To summarize everything, no, women are not all the same. Their needs depend on social, cultural, economic, and religious backgrounds. So, women as di na sila or we all women are not the same. Although we have a same organs, but when we say about needs and interests, we all different from that. It's because of our social, cultural, economic, and religious backgrounds. Second is, there are two types of gender needs. So, sa gikaingon ko pa ganin, no, na ay two types ang gender needs. The practical and the strategic one. Where ang practical is, nag-focus siya sa needs to survive daily. Like itong mga shelter, water, and etc. While ang strategic is long-term empowerment. These are the ways nga maka-empower long-term sa mga women. Third is, we must move away from seeing women as one group and instead understand their unique gender interest. So, dapat iwala bito na to ang mga pagtuo na women are the same because we know that we all people are not the same, especially with our needs and interest. And that is something to be respected. And the last is planners and decision makers must include women, especially from grassroots communities in every stage of development. So dapat agato pong mga especially in government organizations and decision makers, dapat di lang po mga men ang tagaan nila bili sa mga especially in development, but also they should also consider the women because they are the light of the houses and the countries. So thank you so much everyone for listening. I hope this helps you understand how important it is to recognize and respond to gender interest and needs in development. So let's continue to support programs that truly uplift women, not just in words but in action.